What's that? You don't think Spyrals is going to be the best tier 1 deck? Yeah. Yeah. Fix that situation. Yeah. Normal summon drum. Yeah. Quick fix. Super agent. Yeah. Sleeper. Equip. Draw and Lockbird. Draw and Lockbird. Draw and Lockbird. Ha. Because I play bad cards in my main deck. Haha. Go into Resort Town. Go into another Resort Town. Oh. Haha. Field spell. Field spell. You like that? You like that? Yeah. Machine dupe in my opening hand. Even more machine dupe. Yeah. Take that big red car. Expensive foolish barrel. And win con. Yeah, you like that? Soul Charge was so powerful, it disrupted the whole table. Don't even get me started on the other 50% of my deck. Incredibly bad field spells. Oh. Yeah. Rescue. Yeah. Utility Wire. Yeah, this deck box is getting the full mileage. Haha. Master Plan. Yeah. It's cool. We have Normal Summon 1, Normal Summon 5, Normal Summon 8. Yeah. And Sleeper somehow survived that crisis. Welcome to Spiral format. Enjoy your metagame discussion for the month of October for what's left of this. Oh, yeah. It's a face that only a Spiral player could love. God, I'm horrible. Alright, what is up guys? MCool40 here with the Green Shirt Squad. We gotta do our meta-analysis for the rest of October. Now, here's the thing. Spyrals come out this week. We have a YCS. There are literally 2 weeks left in this format for the month. And I watched Simo's video on his meta discussion, and there were a few things that I think he put Pendulum Magicians too high on his meta review. And I'm not going to say that I think people are underestimating the Spiral potential, but they're really underestimating the Spiral potential. So there are a few things I want to talk about here, and we're going to enjoy talking about the metagames. Guys, come on, Blue Shirt Squad, like this video, show me some love. Come on, I don't bite, contrary to popular belief, as many of you think I do for some reason. Maybe it's the green shirt, I don't know. So, YCS Dallas is coming up. Many of you are probably going to be like most people there, and you're going to be franticking to pick up this big bad boy, Spiral. Now, here's the thing though. Without any doubt in my mind, I'm thinking the Spiral is going to be the most heavily represented deck at that event, and let's be completely real here for a minute. I read some quotes from a few famous players in this game, and they're like, why are you not playing Spyrals post this weekend? The only reason that I would think that we would be seeing people still want to play Pendulum Magician is they don't want to invest in a deck that could potentially get hit. Now, our next Forbidden and Limited update list that you're talking about will be no earlier than November, which means they very much could clean up Spyrals on this list, which will give the deck 2 to 4 weeks of play, and then Magical Musketeers will come out. But that's a discussion for another video. So, first off, Spyrals, a lot of people in the TCG at the moment need to decide if they're going to go with set rotation. I was having this discussion with Ethan earlier today. He's cut terraforming and he's gone to just pure set rotation. The big thing that beats Spyrals at this current point in time is Spyrals can go second with evenly matched. Now, I don't care if you want to hear this or if you don't want to hear this, but set rotation beats evenly matched going second, which is something that a lot of people, you need to take this into consideration. And evenly matched on the opponent's turn while I'm attacking you for game and killing you does not get the job done. If you go second, you open evenly matched, you sacrifice your battle phase and your main phase 1, you slam it on the table. But if you're set rotation, your field spell's locked out, which actually prevents you from using evenly matched to beat your opponent and to play the game. And a lot of people are not valuing what set rotation is doing for that general purpose, and it really sucks. saying that, being like, oh, you're using a $70 card at this point in time to beat the mirror. But the thing is, you have a card that can beat the mirror, which is extremely valuable. And the fact that so many people are discounting that theory or don't know about that theory, it's very high. And I'm actually very surprised. So yes, set rotation in terms of tech choices for Spyrals for the mirror match is very important. Once again, because you literally can play it turn one, counter your opponent's board. We don't have Trigate right now. You know, the deck isn't at its utmost full potential. The boards the deck makes are stupid insane. We know that. You know, I know that your mother knows that. It was a fun time last night. But the fact that evenly matched allows the deck to go second in the current metagame. Actually, hell, any deck right now can sacrifice their battle phase and their main phase 1 to evenly match Spyrals if they're not playing with set rotation. But the odds of that scenario coming up might be 1 in 5 matches, but that's definitely well worth the risk. Now, I'm not saying that you need to go by evenly matched to beat Spyrals. There are plenty of things we can do. You guys saw my hand trap video. Droll Lockbird, Ash Blossoms. These are all very good ways to beat Spyrals. That gets the game interactively back to your turn. But I would rather have 10 outs as opposed to 7. It's really up to you with what you want to play. But Spiral has a breakable scenario built into the current game, which is extremely important for players. But with the boards the Spiral generates outside of Dark Hole Renkeki and decks being excessively geared to beating Spyrals, I think that the deck is going to be the most represented deck. Now, my second choice here, back to correcting Simo, is Pendulum Magician. So, here's the thing. With the potential threat of a ban list in November, and outside of a few people picking up the deck and then dropping it directly after the event, I think people are going to put a lot of stock in Pendulum Magician. Because Pendulum Magician doesn't have an entirely S matchup, but you have to get to time Pendulum Graph. You actually have to have a playable hand on. I mean, how consistent can Pendulum Magician be for a 9-round tournament where it has to open up not brick for 11 rounds? And I don't know what scenario that happens. Pendulum Magician's going to have to win a lot of dice rolls. And I don't like having to play a deck that's going to have to rely on going first. At least with Spyrals, the deck can go second because of evenly matched existence. But that's the thing. You're playing a deck that has to get time Pendulum Graph to disrupt the opponent. And if Spyrals have 6 cards on, hell, even 5 cards after you Omega, Mega Tornado Dragon, or, you know, Time Star, or Astrograph, whatever scenario you have. You know, a few people were talking about, I think it was Darren I had this discussion with on here when we did his deck profile, or maybe it was off camera, I don't know. But cutting Wavering Eyes from the main deck once Pendulum Magician comes out, or once Spyrals come out, because it's just extending your play, but it's not doing what it essentially needs to do. So here's the thing. Sure, the Time Pendulum Graph is a really good card. Sure, making 1 to 2 Omegas is really fine, but what is your most consistent result? Outside of that 1 disruption, can your opponent play the game? And I think the answer is yes. I think Spyrals, with the inclusion of Double Summon and things like that, we might be able to get there. Now, once again, we're going to talk about evenly matched here. Evenly matched also beats Pendulum Magician. From a Spiral player going second, and you have a big board, you know, I don't really give a shit about your pendulum scales. You know, it's all fine and dandy. You know, I'll evenly match you, clean up your shit, play main phase 2. The deck on 2 cards, and I might be bad for saying this, but take it for what you want. Pendulum Magician on just 2 cards, the deck has a hard time recovering once its resource pool is literally destroyed. And if you're banishing everything off of evenly matched down to 1 card, there are a lot of issues to consider. And I think a lot of people are putting a lot more stock in the deck than they actually should be. Considering the fact that, sure, the deck is a powerhouse, but the plays it makes compared to Spiral, it's like a kick in the nuts. So, I mean, people will still play it. People are going to open up, or up their hand trap count, which is going to be bad because you're going to be playing a lot more dead cards in the main deck to counteract a deck. But some people have success with it. Others are going to get really furious at Pendulum Magicians, having to play with Spyrals. It's literally, it's going to be a shit show. That's all I can say. Alright, number 3. This is the big one. This is the question I've been hearing all month. What can Spyrals do to a masterpiece? Well, my favorite excuse is, we'll attack over the masterpiece, because that is our go-to question from every person that I've heard talk about masterpiece. Masterpiece disruption can hurt, yes. Quite possibly the disruption pool could get them there. You know, you gotta decide if playing card mice and hand traps in Spyrals, or in True Draco. I'm pretty sure that True Draco does not have an entirely terrible matchup, but a very built field, trying to deploy masterpieces, if you get disrupted, it's not going to go so well. I definitely think that's going to be the big thing going into this format, is outside of Pendulum Edition, the True Draco players are going to try their best to disrupt as much of the boards and the scenarios that they can come up with. And if I was a rogue player, I would rather play True Draco over Pendulum Magician. Just the boards that I think I can... Your rogue matchups, going into Dallas, if I have the mentality that not every person is going to have Spiral, the people that want Spiral will have Spiral. But if I'm going into the event planning to go in X2, playing True Draco, and feel that I have a very good rogue matchup, I would play True Draco. I think that outside of ABC has a very good matchup against Spiral, but it's all about Masterpiece. And, you know, Masterpiece can't really do what Masterpiece does all the time. But there's that. Alright, now we need to talk about ABC. ABC is the other big boy in the room. I watched ABC does what ABC does. And it disrupts. Can you say that with me? Disrupts. The Destrudo build, I don't know how it's going to do it in the TCG. I don't know if the Destrudo helps. Don't get me wrong. Oh my god, Destrudo helps so much. But looking at the way that ABC functions, the OCG doesn't have full power ABC. They haven't had full power ABC in a very long time. The TCG is like, cool, piece candy. ABC is a disruption deck, couldn't cut it against Pendulum Magicians. And Pendulum Magicians are not as good as Spyrals. Say that with me. Pendulum Magician is not as good as Spiral. So here's the thing though. ABC disruption, if a Spiral player plays infinite ABC in a day, I think one or two of those ABC players are going to get to him. The fact that Dragon Buster, actually having 2 Dragon Busters with double discard, is pretty good, because I don't think a Spiral player can really super beat that. Kind of like True Draco Zoo. That's why I like True Draco Zoo, because once Pure Zoo had their 2 negates to do whatever they were going to do to you, you would climb up your 3rd form, which was Draco, and start beating the matchup. You know, of course, Dryden would pop, and then you'd start activating up the next ladder. That's one of the things with Spiral. Spiral can do that. Spiral can have 3 starters in a game. That's not an issue whatsoever. I've seen the deck actually have more than that, depending, but ABC has the power to stop 2 to 3 of those starters, depending on their hand. Now, this might be some god hand shit, take it for what it is, but Disruption, much like Masterpiece, both of these decks can do. And I don't know how consistent they need to win dice rolls. Well, they probably need to win dice rolls to do this, but that's the thing. Dice roll resilient decks as anti-meta picks aren't bad, and the TCG meta is way better than the current OCG meta, because we have all of these lesser decks, but they're at their full potential power. We actually have a metagame, believe it or not. Unlike the OCG, who's just so far up their own shithole for Spyrals, is not even funny. Alright, number 5. Why y'all think Paleo is going to be a deck after Evenly matches out? I'm going to continue to use the example that I've used. If Paleo sets 5 and passes, and I go into my turn, and I open Evenly Matched, you can bet your ass that I'm going to skip my battle phase and my main phase to Evenly Matched off 4 back row. That's also not including Zaphion and Denko, which are both normal summons. But Robbie, we're not going to be citing these cards. I know I'm talking to more of the casual player base when I mention Evenly Matched as much as I do, but that card's pure existence actually destroys Paleozoic, contrary to popular belief. Granted, it's a trap card and your opponent can play it off, but turn 1 scenarios with a card that's at 3 of, it's going to happen a lot more than you actually think it is. And 3 Denko, 3 Zaphion, 3 Evenly Matched, it's not going to be a good time being a Paleo player, especially if you thought that the deck was going to continue to exist for as long as it was. Zaphion wrecks True Draco as much as it beats, you know, Paleo. Same thing with True Draco losing to Evenly Matched. That card shits on so much of our rogue meta picks in today's current game that it's actually just ridiculous. And I'm actually thinking that the six decks could shift off. We might actually see Paleo fall off the map. You know, I'm not gonna mention Super Rogue in this video. Like, I'll talk about a few things at the end, but they're gonna be honorable mentions. Number 6. If you can't tell, I wanted to talk about what CMO said in his video about most of his meta picks. They're pretty much true. Trickster's going first. Is going to make... Scratch that. When I'm looking at Trickster as a deck, I think, wow, this deck is so skilled. Skilled. You have a deck that can go first and punish your opponent's searches. Am I wrong? You have a deck that, if my opponent searches their combo pieces, I can Trickster Reincarnation them, burn them. I'm already main decking Triple Draw and Lockbird for my Cheesebird combo. How can this deck get any worse? I actually think Trickstars get better on this list, which I didn't actually think was possible. You have a deck in the current game of Yu-Gi-Oh! That is already doing what it does, but now it can disrupt even more plays, which is really bad to say. You know, if this guy gets banished, or if multiple copies of him get banished before they can start their initial engine, sure, the deck can still do things, but can it do them as well? The value in Trickster Reincarnation, I think people are still going to be signing Kanawada, maybe. I think going into the next couple of weeks, Trickster is going to see a lot more play from the people that are just like, fuck it, I want to beat Spiral, and I don't want to buy Spiral to beat Spiral. So we're probably going to see a lot more Trickster. And I've typically seen, it's really weird, because the TCG almost, like, we like chain burn. Like, I figured there'd be more players playing Trickster, but they're actually just not, and I don't know why. I get that the TCG might not like the way Tricksters fundamentally work, but it's almost like the deck's kind of fallen off the face of the map for the current point in time. It showed up at locals last week and beat everyone 5-0. The deck, I don't know, I think because of the way the Trickster fundamentally works, I think the deck is going to continue to see play, maybe not as a top tier deck, but the deck's definitely going to be a relevant deck going forward. Licorice is a real big problem, and sacrificing a battle phase or something like that can kind of hurt, because that deck can recover. It's one of the things, though, in the Spiral Mirror, once you blow your load, recovery is much harder than people think. If you shit on a Trickster player, sure, recovering resources is hard, but the deck can fucking do it. A lot more than you'd be surprised it can. So, there's that. Alright, so that's your meta in a nutshell going forward. But Robbie, what about Rogue? Okay, I'll put Dinosaurs on the list. So, you know, someone's gonna sit here in the corner thinking that Dinosaurs are going to be a relevant deck. Ultimate Conductor is still a very good card. There are some roguish people, for some reason, that still think the deck is a meta choice. Maybe for locals. I don't think we're going to see anything too spicy for Tier 1 or higher events. And this will be the same thing with the other rogue decks. Shit like Dark Magician, shit like Blue Eyes. You have a very defined Tier 1 deck right now. Without a doubt, in anybody's mind, Spyrals are the best deck. But when you're looking at Pendulum, Magician, True Dragon, ABC, Paleo, Trickstars, and Dinosaurs, these decks can try to disrupt and do what they're doing. But if the recovery on Spyrals is unchecked, or if you don't have a follow-up, sure, you draw and Lockbird the deck. You know, the typical choice that most of these decks will probably be going to. Do you have a follow-up play that can stop them on the next turn? Do you have double draw and Lockbird? Does having draw and Lockbird take away from your ability to make your board? These are the things that you need to ask yourself while playing in this current format. And I can't stress that enough. I think this format is going to be one of the most ridiculous ones we've had in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Don't get me wrong, but there are ways to beat it. You'll miss Zoo now, I bet. God, it's been my favorite quote. I miss Zoo. Can we have Zoo back? What's going on? Why'd you have to kill Dryden? Huh? You knew this was coming. Wait till we get the Magical Musketeers in a couple of months after they destroy Spyrals in November. Feels good, man. That's all I got for this video. Blue Shirt Squad, leave some comments down below. I know this is a much different meta discussion than we've done. We really didn't talk about Rogue outside of Dinosaur. It's not much of a point. You guys, in the last 3 months of me telling you Blue Eyes is Tier 2, but you still continue to play it, you're not going to listen to me. So, or you can't afford it. It is what it is. So, I guess, tell me what you think. Am I wrong on my theories? Am I right? Evidently, since I haven't topped since 2010, which is not true. But the shit you read in your comment section, right? Alright guys, I'm out. New Cerritos, Green Shirt Squad. The ride never ends, guys. Make sure you enable those notifications to get the latest videos that are being posted on this channel. Make sure you guys check out VanCole40 for my Cardfight Vanguard channel. And join me and House of Champions on the Zodiac Duelist TV Twitch stream. We'll be interacting with our audiences. And please check out No Limit Gaming and LGTCG.com for the cheapest trading cards on the market. Thanks for watching, guys, and please have a good day.